Hello everyone. Let us continue understanding Module 3 Data Flow Modeling. In this lecture, let us understand the reduction, shift, concatenation, replication, and conditional operators in Verilog. First, let us understand the reduction operators. So, the reduction operators in Verilog are the AND operator, the NAND operator, OR, the NOR, XOR, and the XNOR. So, when we observe carefully, the symbols look and match the bitwise operator. So, how do we differentiate between a reduction and a bitwise operator is reduction operators work on a single operand. So reduction operands are unary. Given a vector bit, the internal bits of those vectors are either ANDed, NANDed, OR, NOR, etc. Those operations are performed. So reduction operators will perform a bitwise operation, but it's performing it on a single vector operand. So it should be multiple bit and it will just do the AND operation of all the bits, and finally the final answer is just one bit result. But in a bitwise operator, the final result will be equal to the size of the operand size, the larger operand size. So if we have two 4-bit numbers, for bitwise operator, the answer will be a 4-bit number. But in reduction operator, even if we have 16-bit number, the final answer will be 1-bit answer. So the major difference between bitwise and reduction is bitwise needs 2 operand, reduction works on the bits of the same operand. So we will understand this with an example. So let us assume x is equal to 4 tick binary 1010. So 1010 are the bits of the input x. So we need only one operand for reduction operand. So we've just considered one input. So first operation here is AND of x, that is reduction AND. So we can observe here, normally when we write AND, we write x and y. But here we have just written AND of x. So whenever you write the ampersand operation with a single operand, this means it is reduction operator. So how does it work? It takes every bit of the x, just performs the AND operation. So the number is 1010. So 1 and 0 and 1 and 0. So we just have to perform the required operation on the internal bits of that given number. So we know AND operation gives us a 0 result when any one input is 0. So the answer is a 0 here. Next one, reduction OR of x. Similarly, perform the OR operation of all the bits. So 1 or 0 or 1 or 0. We know that for the OR gate, if any one input is high, the output is high. So the result here is again a logical 1. So we can observe, irrespective of the number of bits, the final answer will be just a single bit number. XOR of x. Perform the XOR bits 1 XOR 0 XOR 1 XOR 0. So the result will be 0. 1 XOR 0 is 1. 1 XOR 1 is 0. 0 XOR 0 is a 0. So we've got a 0 as the answer. And for the rest of the operators, that is reduction NAND, reduction NOR, and the reduction XNOR, they can just be computed by inverting the answers of these cases here. So reduction NAND will be 1, reduction NOR will be a 0, and reduction XNOR will be a 1. Let us see the next class of operators, that is the shift operators. So the shift operators in Verilog are, we have the right shift, which is 2 greater than symbols. We have the left shift, which is 2 less than symbols. We have arithmetic right shift, which is 3 greater than symbols, and the arithmetic left shift, which is a 3 less than symbol. So the first two are the basic normal shift operators. So we have 2 greater than symbols because a single greater than and a single lesser than is a relational operator. So these are logical shifts. We have arithmetic shifts. So arithmetic left shift is same as this normal logical left shift, but the arithmetic right shift is different. It will retain the sign bit. The MSB bit is retained. So shift operators, basically they will shift an operand to the right or to the left by the number of bits we have specified in the statement. So the operands are the vectors and the number of bits. So the number to be shifted and the number of bits to shift are the operands. And when the bits are shifted, we know that the vacant positions are created and vacant positions are filled with 0. Let's see examples. So let's assume AX is a 4-bit binary number 1100. So first task is y is equal to x right shift by 1. So when we shift this number, right by one bit, we are going to lose out the least significant bit here, and there's a vacancy created in the MSB bit. So this 0 comes here, this 0. So the final last 3 bits will be 1 1 0. The vacant position is filled with 0. So the answer will be 0 1 1 0. So we are just right shifting by one bit and we are filling 0 in the most significant bit position. Next, y is equal to x left shift by 1. So when we left shift this number by 1, we are going to lose out the most significant bit, and there's a vacancy created in the least significant bit position. So we are just shifting it by one bit position. So when we do that shifting, the vacancy created on the MSB bit position will look something like this. So we are going to shift. So this bit will be lost. That is, the MSB bit is lost. This bit comes to the MSB bit position, 0 comes to this bit position, and this 0 comes to this bit position. So there is a vacancy created here, and this vacancy will be filled with a 0. So in this case, the expected answer will be 1 0 0 0. Y is equal to x left shift by 2. So when we shift left by 2 the same number, we are going to lose the first 2 bits, and zeros are there, and obviously 2 vacant positions on the right hand side are created, which is filled by 0. So this evaluates to all zeros. We are just shifting this number by 2 bits. Let's take another example where we have declared an integer a, b, c. We say a is 0, b is minus 10, and we say c is a plus b. Right shift by 3. So this is arithmetic right shift. So in arithmetic right shift, what happens is we are going to retain the sign of the MSB bit. So let's see how it works. So we have b here. B is 1 0 10 minus 10. So 1 0 1 0 is a normal 10. Minus 10 means we need 2's complement. 2's complement means take 1's complement. 0 1 0 1 plus 1. So we have 0 1 1 0. Since it is negative, the sign bit position will be 1. So this is the representation of minus 10. This minus 10, when we right shift by 3, so carefully observe, we are going to lose the last 3 bits here. 1 1 0 is lost. These 2 bits will come to the last bit position. So what is the position of the MSB bit here? 1. That will be filled in the vacant positions. For a right shift, please note, the vacant positions will be filled with the MSB bit position. So in this example, we have a 1 here, so that 1 is filled in all the positions. If there was a 0, 0 will be filled. So when we take, this is the number obtained. So when you take this number, especially excluding this sign bit, we are left out with this number, that is 0. When we take 2's complement of this, that is 0 0 0 1 plus 1, we are going to get back 2. This 1 tells it's minus, so this answer would lead us to minus 2 because a is 0, doesn't make any difference. So C will evaluate to minus 2 in decimal. So only thing to be noted here is arithmetic left shift is same as this shift. The right shift will retain the sign bit in the vacant positions. So let's take another example. A is 5-bit binary 1 0 1 0 0. So here it is arithmetic left shift by 2. So when we left shift by 2, we will lose the top most, that is the most significant 2 bits. This is lost. These 3 bits come in this position 1 0 0. So vacancy is created in the lower significant bit positions, which is filled with zeros. So we are going to get 1 followed by all zeros. Next, A right shift by 2. So in this case, when we right shift by 2, this is arithmetic right shift because we have 3 greater than symbol. So when we right shift by 2, we are going to lose out the last 2 bits. So 101 comes in the end. In the vacant position for an arithmetic shift, we have to retain the MSB. What is the MSB here? 1. So the answer will be 11101 because the sign bit was a 1 in this case. So if we have DA left shift by 2, this is a normal left shift. So this will give us the same answer as the arithmetic left shift because the vacant bits are filled with zeros again here. And when we do a right shift by 2, a normal right shift by 2, we are going to lose out the last 2 bits. But the vacant position here will be filled with zeros, unlike this case which was filled with the MSB value. Next, let us see the concatenation operators in Verilog. So concatenation basically means joining or appending. Concatenation operator in Verilog is this curly braces, which is used to append multiple operands. Append means join multiple operands. So the operands must be sized, that is, they have to have a size. If they are unsized, then it's not allowed, because each operand must be known before it is used in the computation to know the final size of this concatenation operator. Let's take example. So this is very simple. So we have A as 1-bit binary 1, B is a 2-bit 0 0, C is a 2-bit 1 0, and D is a 3-bit 1 1 0. Let's perform concatenation. The first statement is Y is equal to concatenation of B and C. So we have B as 0 0, C as 1 0. Curly braces is concatenation. Concatenation means join. So when we join 0, 0 and 1, 0, we are going to get 0, 0, 1, 0. So 2 bits plus 2 bits, total size is 4 bits. Next, we have concatenation of A, B, C, D and a number mentioned as a 3-bit number 0, 0, 1. So just write down the values. A is 1, B is 00, C is 10 and D is 110. And then append even these last 3 bits. So you're going to get 11-bit result, because A is 1 bit, 3 bits, 5 bits, 8 bits, 8 plus 3, 11 bit. Totally this is 11-bit number, which is a concatenation combination of all these bits. Now we can do concatenation of even a small bits of a vector. For example, here we are concatenating A with a single bit of B, B of 0, and a single bit of C, C of 1. So what is A? A is 1. B of 0, it is a 0th bit. So we know that when we have 2 bits, this is a 0th bit, this is the first bit. So the 0th bit of B is a 0, so this is a 0. C of 1 is the first bit. First bit means this is a 0th bit position, this is the first bit position, we have 1. So the answer is 1 0 1, 3 bit 1 0 1. We have replication operators in Verilog also. Replication operators basically mean to replicate. So these are repetitive concatenation of the same number. So it is used by a replication constant. So replication constant specifies how many times we have to replicate the number inside the bracket. Let's take an example. So we have declared register variables A, B, C and D, which is a single bit, 2-bit and a 3-bit vectors, and we have assigned some values to it also. Now when we write Y is equal to 4 curly braces A. So this 2 curly braces indicate it is a replication operator. 4 of A means you have to take A. What is the value of A here? 1. A should be replicated 4 times. So 1 should be replicated 4 means you'll get 1 1 1 1. So the result is 4-bit binary 1 1 1 1. Let's take one more example. This is replication and concatenation together. 4 bits of A. So this is the answer, comma 2 bits of B within curly braces. So this is concatenation. So 4 ones should be concatenated with replication of B 2 times. What is B? 00. So when you replicate 00 2 times, you will get 0000. So it is result is 4 ones and 0000. So this number outside the bracket tells how many times we should repeat that number or replicate that number. Next, 4 of A. So 1111. 2 of B is 0000 and C at the end is 10. So you're going to get a 10-bit number. The last operator in Verilog is the conditional operator. So conditional operator is a question mark and a colon operator. So this is basically a ternary operator. It has 2 operators and 3 operands. So the general format of a conditional operator is we are going to write a conditional expression followed by a question mark. Immediately after the question mark, if this condition is true, if this expression is true, the true expression is written followed by a colon and then the false expression. So the conditional expression is first evaluated, it is checked. If the result is true, then true expression will be evaluated. If the result is false, the false expression is evaluated. So simple. So the action of a conditional operator is similar like the multiplexer or the if-else statement. If this condition, do this, else do this. So this is like a multiplexer, a simple notation we can check here. If the conditional expression is 0, then the false expression is evaluated. If the conditional expression is 1, then the true expression is evaluated. Let's see example. So the conditional expression, it basically acts like a switching control. So let's try to model the functional of a tri-state buffer. So we have assign address bus is equal to drive enable question mark address out colon 36-bit binary high imprint state. So here The conditional expression is drive enable. Drive enable is checked. If drive enable is 0, then the answer, the number allotted to address bus is 36-bit binary high impedance state. If the drive enable is 1, then the address out is assigned to address bus. Similarly, we can model the functionality of a 2:1 mux using conditional operator. So we can observe here, multiplexer 2:1 will have two inputs, one select line, so which we have named here as control, and one output. A multiplexer has a single output. Now control is a selection line. If this control line is 0, 0 means false expression. False expression here is input 0. So input 0 is assigned to output. If the control signal is 1, the true expression, that is the one immediately after the question mark, is evaluated. Input 1 is assigned to output. So conditional operators, they can be nested. Each true expression or false expression can itself become a conditional operation. So we can have one conditional statement within another conditional statement. For example, we can check here. We have question mark, colon. So this is the outer conditional statement. Internal to this, we have again another conditional statement. So this works like this. So it checks if A is equal to 3. If A is equal to 3, if it is true, then this parenthesis is executed, which is another conditional statement or conditional operator. If it is false, then we will have this parenthesis block being executed. Let's assume A is equal to 3. So then it comes in here, then it checks for the control signal. If control is 0, final answer which is given to out is Y. If control is 1, you will get an X. Similarly, if A is not equal to 3, this statement is executed. Control is checked. If control is 0, N is assigned. If control is 1, M is assigned. So we studied the various operators in Verilog. So it is important to know the operator's precedence. So operator's precedence is when we write an expression which has all different kinds of operators, which operator gets the highest preference. So we have the unary arithmetic operators, the plus, minus, the not, and the logical not, and the bitwise not having the highest precedence, followed by the arithmetic operators multiply, divide, and modulus. Then we have the addition and subtraction operators, shift operators, relational, equality, reduction, all the reduction operators, all the logical operators, and finally the conditional operator with the lowest precedence. So in this lecture, we understood the different operators like the concatenation, replication, shift operators, and conditional operators in Verilog, and also their operator precedence. Thank you.